is CBS.
Well, folks, this is it. It's Sunup's last show.
That's right. We have some folks who have been with us for 30 years. Anybody here seen the actual first show ever? Couple over there.
Here.
We'll talk about these 30 years. A San Diego tradition ends today with Sunup's farewell and 30th anniversary show.
Stay tuned. We're going to be right back.
Good morning. Good morning and welcome to Sunup for the very last time. My name is Bob Mills, and what you saw there was just a bit of history. That was one of the early promos that we used to promote a brand new program in San Diego in 1960 called Sunup. It's been almost 30 years to the day that we started that original program. I had done a program by the same name, the same format back in Tulsa, Oklahoma for 3 years, and the people here at Channel 8 decided that perhaps San Diego should have a program like that. So they were kind enough to invite me to move from Tulsa out to San Diego. And for the past 30 years, I've loved living here. It was fun being on Sunup in those early days. It was totally different than it is today. Everything was in black and white. Part of, not the original cast, but the cast that came along a little later. The fellow you recognize next to me is Shane, Sue White, and at that time, Jonathan Dunn Rankin was the newsman on the program. The original newsman was Mel Knoepp, who later took over as the host of Sunup. The original weather girl, as we called them in those days, was Raquel Welch. Raquel Tejada was the name that she was using then, although she was married to a fellow named Welch. But Raquel Tejada was her maiden name, and she'd won a couple of beauty contests under that name, so she decided to keep her maiden name. And Raquel retired after about 9 months on the program to have her second child, which was Tawny. And Tawny was featured in the Cocoon series movies just a while back. That fellow with the muscles is Jack LaLanne. And it was strange when we took those photographs to promote Jack LaLanne's segment of the Sunup program, because Jack stood about 5'4", probably, and I stood closer to 6'4", so they put Jack on a Coke box to take those photographs. And somewhere I have a photograph of Jack standing on that Coke box. Boy, he was mad about that. He didn't like showing that he was a short fellow. Nice fellow, though. Nice fellow. We're going to have a lot of reminiscences today as we continue with this 30-year anniversary of Sunup. Some of the people that helped start the program, that were here from the very beginning. And of course, when you get into the later years, you get into color television and tape recordings and all that sort of thing, things that we didn't have back in the early days. Sunup was live when it went on the air at 8 o'clock. It was live, and was for most of its history. The lady that soon followed Raquel Welch doing the weather on the program is Sue White. And Sue is back with us today to be a part of this reunion. And Welch, you should be. Hi, Sue.
Good morning. Happy Sunups.
You remember that little story I told about Jack LaLanne and
Oh, yes.
how we used to do the exercises with Jack?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I wasn't there at the time. Raquel was on the show at that time, wasn't she?
She possibly was.
Yeah.
But
We had Jack a couple times later, and we used to have cooking features, and oh gosh, Shane used to do crazy things. I did the weather, of course, and I feel kind of naked without my weatherboard. Where's my weatherboard?
We should have a weatherboard
Yeah,
for
need
Sue.
a
But
weatherboard.
things are done so differently today, computerized weather and all that sort of thing. We didn't have that then, did we?
No, we sure didn't. In fact, I remember one time we had a teleprompter that was just a sheet of paper that went around and around, and one day we were introducing a new product, and Shane put it upside down, and he handed me this lump of dough, frozen bread dough, and said, "This is your new product," and I stepped out, and I couldn't read a word. And I just stood there with it, and I said, "Oh, it must be very good, folks. It must be wonderful. It must be terrific." But I don't know what it is.
Not unusual. A fellow fouled up many times in his career. Let's meet Shane now. Duane Schirmer. Shane.
Morning, Chief.
Good to see you, Shane.
I've been showing up every day for 15 years, but no cameras, no paycheck, no nothing. About time you guys got back.
Why do you keep getting younger and I keep getting older? I don't understand.
Oh, geez. Thanks, Chief.
The
I take that as a compliment.
The eternal child.
Somebody said that my looks never change, and I says, well, that's my problem. I can't get a job.
Shane was one of the original cast members, and we had many good years. I was on the program for 9 years. Mel Knoepp was the newsman many of those 9 years. And then Mel took over as host and was with Sue for, how many years were you and Mel together?
Oh, I don't count years, no, because you see, I'm
Good
still
idea.
only 32.
Yes, exactly right. And I was 32 around the waist at that time, but I'm afraid that's even going by the boards. Let's meet Mel Knoepp and bring Mel back in. Mel? All right. I was on the program for 9 years, and then you took over as host for how many more years?
Well, you went on to bigger and better things, and then I took. They were, weren't they? And I took over for 9 years and hosted it, and then Jerry took the show. But I had been on the show since that first day. Remember, 30 years ago.
You were one of the originals.
And one of the originals, and you and Raquel and I, and Shane was not on the show, but he was in the studio at that time. And after that first show, I turned to you and I said, Bob, you've done this show before. You know the show. You've been in show business a lot longer than I have. How long is this show going to stay on the air, do you think? You said, if we're lucky, maybe 3 years, maybe 4, maybe 5.
And here it's been almost 30.
Yeah, and it's been 30 years. So and it's been a big part of our lives, and it's been a big part of San Diego all that time.
Now, when Sue left the Sun Up program, who took over as your co-host?
It was interesting. We had several co-hostesses for a while, and we had Laurel Page was one of the people. Reba Merrill worked on the show. This is, I can't see the monitor, but I think this is this
Sarah.
Laura? And then Sarah Purcell, and her first job in broadcasting on television. And she did some wonderful things, and probably still is. And she worked the show too as a co-hostess for a while. So Reba and Laurel and Sarah.
Uh-huh. Let's now bring out the fellow who now does the program, Jerry Bishop. Jerry?
Hey, Guy. Jerry. Sue.
Come on, Jerry.
You didn't even mention Shane wore a tie today.
Yeah, I wanted to dress up the act because I didn't know. See, he's wearing a...
That's
I
right.
was hoping he wouldn't because I was the only other guy without a tie, but Shane even wore one.
I got past you this time.
Cover that up. It's a family show.
You always did. You always did.
I need to introduce the person that came here with me in 1978. As a matter of fact, we started on this show the week of the PSA crash, so kind of an historic moment in San Diego. We went on the air on a Monday, and on Friday, the plane went down. The town was on a terrible downer for about 2 months. But we got through it somehow and have managed to last for a long time. Ladies and gentlemen, Danuta! Hi! Gotta show you this. Can we get a shot? This was the original publicity photo.
Gee whiz.
1978. We haven't changed a bit, have we?
I don't think
Huh?
your hair has changed.
My hair is a little different, yeah, and yours is about the same, really.
Mine about
huh?
the same. Yeah.
Very
But,
little
oh,
difference.
Gosh, those were good days.
How many years you were with us for?
5 years.
5, so
5
78
long,
to 5
long years.
grueling. I had to look at me every morning. Wasn't easy. When Danuta left, it was tough to find somebody to replace her, but we did. After an arduous search, ladies and gentlemen, Kathi Diamant.
I always
wanted to walk down those stairs. All the guests
That's
get
right.
to walk down those stairs.
We never
don't
get to walk
do
down
that.
the stairs. Well, Kathy, any historic words at this moment?
Is it time for a commercial break?
You want to do that?
So it is. We're going to take a little break. We're going to come back and we're going to reminisce for the rest of the show. Stay with us. Sun Up is up next.
All right. Oh, yeah.
Well, here we are.
Here we are. If you're just joining us, this is Sun Up's final show after 30 years. It's also coincidentally our 30th anniversary. Just about everybody in our audience has a memory or two of Sun Up. Lots of the people who participated in the show, lots of them who watched it. We're going to get into the audience in a moment. But the real stars are the folks up here, the guys who started the show and kept it going all these years.
Yeah, Bob, you said that it's been almost to the day 30 years?
Yeah, it was August 15th that Sun Up went on the air in 1960.
Next
So,
week? Whoa.
actually,
Yeah,
that's
almost to
this
the
Friday or Saturday.
Yeah,
So
well,
we
yeah.
almost made 30 years. This has been your baby. This, you know, you really had something that lasted on television longer than most things
Yeah, and
last.
if we count the 3 years in Tulsa, it would be like a 33-year-old format. So it's been around a while.
They said
I
it
guess,
wouldn't last.
yeah, but I guess it has to be some kind of record for San Diego longevity.
I would
anyway.
think so.
You did more than just 9 years as host. You were newsman here for how many years before?
I had a total of 18 years on the show.
18 years. So you must be the longest running human on this panel, right?
Thanks for not calling me the oldest, but the longest running.
Longest running is nicer.
But you've hosted the show for
12.
I
12.
hosted for 12, so I guess in terms of hosting, I've done it longer, but you were with the show
Bob
forever.
hosted for 9, I hosted for 9. I was on the show for the 18. So all of us has a record. Everybody here.
Shane, in fact, has a police record, I understand.
Yeah, how did you
We were gonna talk
become
about it.
a part of the show? How did that all come about?
Well, I think I worked for this station maybe as long as Mel altogether, even though I left earlier because I had been working for Channel 8 many years as a floor director, doing artwork also. And then I was cueing the people, and there was a
So you'd
fellow...
be out there between the cameras pointing at us, right?
Exactly.
Like Joe Stella.
And behind the set, moving chairs around and things. But one day a fella came to audition, and I was cueing him, and his name was Bob Mills. And he was to have a guest. Well, he didn't bring a guest with him from Tulsa. So he looked at me and he says, geez, that guy looks different. I think I'll interview him. And so he interviewed me. And so that went rather well for him. He got the job.
You did some pretty strange things. Something in a bathtub.
Oh, I had a magic bathtub. Magic bathtub's retired now. But the magic bathtub, I would get in the magic bathtub, and it would take me strange places. Like, Bob Gardner would film us launching the magic bathtub into San Diego Bay. And he was the cameraman, and the magic bathtub magically ran over him. And broke his light meter and all that. So there was a lot of strange things. But I also had a magic barrel. And our magic barrel was very famous, let me tell you. We did hundreds of short comedies showing San Diego to San Diegans. And that was the music segment that we had every day in Sun Up. There had to be a music segment.
Live
that was,
music. We're talking live, right?
No, it was on record. The only thing live, semi-live, was myself.
What kind of barrel was that, Shane?
That was a magic barrel.
No.
He still believes it. He still believes it, yes.
You mean
what
besides
kind of
being
barrel?
magic?
Yeah.
Besides being magic, it was a pickle barrel.
No, I think it was a whiskey barrel, and I think the fumes were still in there.
Sue, what are your favorite memories? When people say, what do you remember about doing something?
Oh,
Is there one that jumps out?
There was so much, because I was on the show for 12 years, and before that, Mel and I were together co-anchoring a noon news program. The funniest, I think, and I've told this story before, a lot of you have heard it, was the day that Bob forgot we were live and turned to me and said, oh, hell, it's time for the weather.
Remember how long ago that was?
You couldn't say that.
Today it happens all the time.
You couldn't even think
My
that word. In the
favorite
studio.
memory, though, and I've never shared this with anyone except the family on the show. I'll share it with all of you now. Most people don't know that when my husband came home safely from Vietnam, he became the director on our show. And that was that first day was the biggest day of my
And the
life.
marriage survived?
Oh, yes.
Danuta, you and I had a lot of fun here. You did some pretty crazy things.
That's what I've heard.
We really did. I don't know how it always happened. I mean, it wasn't something that planned it. But I was just sitting here thinking, well, what was the most bizarre? And there were two, really. One was when we were shooting at SeaWorld, and there were some high diving acts.
Oh.
And these guys they cleared Shamu's pool out and took out Shamu and two of his buddies and put him in a holding tank. And then these guys were like 1,000 feet up on this, it looked real high, and on this platform, and they were diving from the platform into Shamu's pool because it was the deepest pool they could find. So we were there with them. And then all through the show, people kept egging me on and daring me to do it. So at the end of the show, I hate to be dared because I'll do it. I'll do whatever. I don't like to be dared or to be called a coward of any sort. So this Polak climbed up this pole. I mean, it was and there at the top of the pole is a little square. It was a 1 square foot platform, enough for 1.5 feet. And there's Joe Stella counting me down to the end of the show. He's going 5, 4, you gotta go, 3, you gotta jump, 2. And I didn't have time to say, wait a minute, my life is not in order. So I just, because the show must go on and they wanted to end with this big splash.
You didn't.
I did. I took off and I went feet first, and I remember hurling through the air, and I remember hitting the water, and my feet hit first, and all the skin came right off the bottom of my feet. And I went down to the very bottom of this thing, and I'm going, and the next thing I see are 4 killer whales coming straight for me. They were in for a polar sandwich because Shamu is on this side of me, and his bud is on the other side of me, and I think it was the first time anybody ever walked on water for this show.
She was out of that pool very quickly. I remember that because I remember Joe and I, it was kind of like when there's a guy on a ledge, everybody says, jump, jump, we're all doing that.
Yeah.
What do we care? Jump!
But I can't remember, I did it, and I remember running, kind of running out of the water. I was swimming like crazy because the other whale was licking my feet. So as I'm trying to get out of the water, the whale is licking at my feet.
I want you to know we were behind you every
Behind is the key word.
Far behind.
We're going to give the audience a chance. We're going to talk to some of the regulars that have been on the show for years and years and years, and some of the people who were in the first audience and watched the show the first time. When we return after this commercial break.
Doing this to you. Go ahead and take the lid off.
Sometimes they're the most awful things.
This qualifies. Now that we've lost our co-host.
Well, we call that one cricket mania. One of the requisites of being a Sun-Up host is that you learn to love the animals. The San Diego Zoo has been bringing animals to the set since the very beginning of the show. Kathi Marmack has probably made more appearances than anyone else in that capacity, along with Victoria Garrison, who we like to call Miss Vicky. And the animals who win the prize as having the most appearances on the show are these two, right?
I think so, and that owl's a definite second.
That's right.
He's
We put
right
a
in
Ted
there. Old
Leitner
Wahoo,
Mac.
he's been on here 50 times, probably.
And then Arusha.
This is Arush and Anna, yeah.
And the amazing thing about these two is that they're best friends and partners and that they live together.
For I'm going on 8 years now.
Yeah. And Kathi Marmack was the one who brought the leopard that chased me around the sofa.
That was leopard mania.
Leopard mania. And Miss Vicky brought a number of animals, but the only one that ever bit me.
Well, actually, if you recall, I was on your very first show.
That's right. That
with
one.
your very first animal, and it turned around and bit your toe.
That's right. That's true. But then the other one that bit me was the one, a most unlikely source.
That was probably my most embarrassing moment in that I told you it never had bitten anyone, and then it turned around and bit you, and that was Honey Bunny.
A little bunny rabbit. Drew blood. But the other thing we've all had to get used to is snakes. We have the Sun-Up hosts right now, all of them, with one of our dearest friends.
Snake.
How you guys doing up there?
I got the wrong end.
You think this is the right end?
Don't do anything mean to that end.
I'm going to bite this end.
He gets even at this end. He opened up his mouth, it looked like a little bit bigger than my hand, or extremities.
Well, I've got the part where the breakfast is. I think he had a rabbit for breakfast. Mills, how you doing down there? I can feel it moving.
Yes, I don't know what's going to come out here.
Is it a boy or a girl?
It's a boy.
Well, in any case, while we're figuring that out, we want to thank the San Diego Zoo for being such a big part of Sunup San Diego over the years. Thank you, Kathi.
Thank you. Enjoyed it.
Thank you. Okay.
We mentioned at the beginning that there are a couple of folks here who saw the very first Sunup show 30 years ago. You're one of them. Anybody else? You're it. Come on, stand up here. She brought a picture. Now, this is of Shane in Wonderland. What was that about?
In 1965.
Hold it still. Yeah.
Does this look familiar, Shane?
Remember this, Shane? Shane in Wonderland. Well, he's still in Wonderland.
That was the kids' show that didn't run as long as Sunup did.
Well, you've been with it 30 years. Did you ever miss a day in all these 30 years?
No, I haven't. I had a kind of an inside track because my sister was the telephone operator for 25 years
Here
at
at
Channel 8.
What's her name?
Marie Weber. She passed away a
They
year
all
ago.
remember.
And I'm her sister, Pat Fife. And
Pat, thanks for being with us all this time. Sit down, relax, enjoy the rest of the show. One more quick couple. Dan and Nicola, come here. This is the couple. Kathi, come here. Because twice in the history of Sunup, unless you guys had one before, we had weddings on the program. Dan and Nicola Bernard were married live on Sunup in what year, Nicola? What,
1986.
Of course you remember. What a dumb question. Would you remember? And who's your friend?
This is our daughter, Emma. She's 17 months old now.
We'd need to say she was not born
No,
on
that's
Sunup
right.
San Diego.
17 months old, 4 years. Do you look at the tape from time to time of the wedding?
Rarely.
Too busy, right? Dan's in the plumbing business, I know, keeping real busy. And
very busy.
This is the first of many?
Two, probably.
Two more?
One more.
One more, okay. Well, thank you. It was a highlight of our entire 30-year run. And it was a beautiful wedding, and congratulations again.
Thank you.
And it's lasted, right? Thanks, Nicola. Go relax and enjoy the show.
Okay, we've got a couple of more minutes. There are some people in the audience we wanted to talk to. You had something you want to say. You want to stand up?
Just thank you.
Oh, that's it.
All right, hey.
All right. We have a number of regulars here today, people who have appeared on the show over the years. Natasha Josefowicz, why don't you stand up?
I am remembering 1979. My first book had come out. My topic was sexual harassment. I had never been in a television studio. I was so frightened. I thought I was going to get sick. I wish I were home. I thought, who needs this? And I'm sitting there with Jerry and Danuta. And what does Jerry do? He puts his hand on my knee and starts rubbing it and says, "Am I harassing you?"
That doesn't sound like our Jerry.
I did that purely for illustrative purposes, you understand.
What did you do?
Well,
She loved it, don't tell me.
I was so shaken up. For a second there, I said, oh my God, what do I do? And then I said, oh, I'm so glad you're doing this, Jerry. This is exactly what harassment is. Unexpected and unsolicited.
That's right, just a demonstration.
Natasha is not just a management consultant. We've been calling her our poet-philosopher in residence, and she always writes a poem for the show. You've got one for us today.
It's called Farewell to Sunup. This is a farewell from Sunup. This is a farewell to Sunup. This is goodbye to 30 years of being our trusted morning friend, with years of good advice, years of celebrities, of animal lore and recipes, years of the latest fashion and latest news, from authors to scientists. Sunup did it all and managed to fill our lives with both education and entertainment. So, with a tear and with a cheer, we say thanks for the memories. Yay!
Thank you, Natasha. Donna, good. When we come back, we're going to talk to a lady who has cooked how many meals on this show?
Tons.
Tons of meals. Donna Roll, and much more on Sunup's Farewell 30th Anniversary. Don't go away.
I'm from the
Don't
San Diego
cough into
Community
the flour,
College. I know,
please,
it's
you know.
just that I'm overcome.
A lot of people might have to eat this later, you know what I mean?
No, I don't think so, because we're not going to have time to
Boy.
make this. You know, when you have a lot of disasters, I've had 2 on the way down, and then, you know,
Oh, really? Big
yes.
ones or small?
Big ones.
Is this one of them?
And it went on like that. Donna Roll has been cooking on Sunup for how many years?
About 20.
20 years.
Maybe 23.
Representing the community college districts. Was that the wildest thing that ever happened to you? Or was
One of them. I think one of the other funny things that happened, we were showing some safety features, taking the champagne cork out, it went up and hit a light, came down and hit one of the camera guys.
Oh, yeah. But he's fine. He recovered. He didn't
They
know
always
it.
recover to eat.
Donna Roll, thank you for all the wonderful years of recipes. Thank you, Donna. Okay. Kathi.
I'm here with Larry Boersma, who is the Director of Community Relations for the Humane Society, and we've had some of the most darling animals.
Oh, we've had some great ones, and I just, for all the animals, I have to tell you how much it's appreciated. All the homes that you've helped find for those animals who needed them, it really has been terrific.
I know.
Years and years and hundreds of animals.
I would fall in love at least once a week on the show, so thanks for bringing them down.
Oh, thank you for having them and
You
for
bet.
helping them.
The Humane
We appreciate
Society, thank you. And over here,
We got to get a picture of Joe. Joe, come on over here, because the camera's not pointing at you.
Who's that?
Joe Stella has been the floor director on this show.
look at that one.
26 years. Right, 26? 26 years. 26 years, he still doesn't know how to face the camera. It's over
I know,
there.
I'm
Over there.
Okay, we
Still
wanted to
doesn't
give
know.
you a chance to say something. Because you've been here for the whole time, pointing the finger at us.
Yeah, giving us the finger.
It's hard to remember an incident, but, well, I do remember when I first started. You know, you want to make a good impression. And we were doing live milk commercials with Bob Mills. And we had different types of milk, buttermilk, skim milk. And I poured him a glass, and he always drank it to, you know, say how good it was. Well, I thought it was buttermilk. So I give him this glass, he drinks it. Somehow he drank it, put it down, said that was good. Well, it wasn't buttermilk, it was spoiled milk, but I didn't know that. I didn't think I was going to have a job much longer, but he took it very well.
Well, you didn't tell the whole story, but that's okay. Joe Stella.
Joe Stella, come on. We have a row full of people we want to say hello to real quickly. This is one of the bright young actors in San Diego who's also a real close friend of Kathi Diamant's. Byron?
Hi, Jerry.
Hi.
I'd like to thank you for, we did a song and dance routine on your show once, at the end of which you threw a rubber chicken at us. I'd like to thank you for that moment, Jerry.
Certainly one of the highlights of my career. Thank you, Brian. This young lady, how many times have you been on Sunup, would you guess?
Oh, I don't know. A lot in the last 5 to 7 years. I don't know.
Tell them what you do and who you are.
I'm Cheryl Nova. I'm the
Cheryl Nova
resident.
is a scissorgist,
That's
right?
close enough, Jerry.
Did I get it right?
Yeah.
And she told us, you want to do a real quick rundown on our futures?
Oh, sure. Kathy's going to become involved in the film industry more and more, even on the production end.
Mhm.
And you, Jerry, are going to amass a fortune in good restaurants.
Yay.
And
All
You'll be
right.
back in show business in a while.
Okay, well, that'll be interesting to see. Thank you, Cheryl. Thank you. This is the lady from Brady's Men's Shops who have been dressing me for a whole bunch of years now and tells me exactly how to put things together. Sunny Andres, who when she first came on the show was a little nervous about it, and you have come, you're a professional broadcaster at this point. You could do this show. In fact, here.
I was remembering the first fashion show we did, and all the models were backstage, and they were all San Diego power shaker kind of people, and Jerry Coleman and all these guys. And they were so nervous that all I was thinking when I was sitting on the stage was, please, just let their zippers be up. Please, please.
Wait a minute.
For you.
Yeah, it's up.
That's for you.
A tie.
Wait, quickly open that up, because
Quick
you'll love
open
it.
tie,
This is
okay.
a going away tie for you, Jerry.
Going away time.
This is the hottest tie going
Oh,
in
it
San
says
Diego.
Italian bread and biscuits, too. The Italian restaurant.
These
Thank
are the
you.
theme ties of the 90s.
I
Great
think we have
luck
to
to you.
take a break here. Do we have to take a break? We have to take a break, and when we come back, I'll wear this tie, and we'll meet a lot more friends of Sunups. Don't go away.
I'd like to introduce 3 women who have been regulars on the show. At least 2 of them have been regulars on the show, but without which I would not have been able to survive. Jeanette Maxwell is the woman who has provided all the clothing and the looks for me over the years. 7 years we've been working together.
8.5, I count.
Jeanette,
It's been a great
and what have you got there?
I've got a T-shirt, a designer T-shirt that I've made myself for you.
Oh.
And it has pieces of lace and ribbons and bows and
You got one for Jerry?
sequins. And of course it has all the little memories. And of course one's for Jerry.
All right.
Will that go
Jeanette
with my tie?
Maxwell, our fashion arbiter on Sun Up San Diego.
That's great.
That's wonderful, Jeanette. Thank you. Debbie Medina has been our makeup expert on the show. You're not going to cry.
No.
Oh, okay.
No. We've cried a lot backstage and
Yeah.
laughed a lot backstage, and that's my memory. Everything that went on, I know behind the scenes.
She does.
And I know a lot.
And Susie Ferguson, who just started as my hairstylist, and I'm sorry we didn't get to work a lot longer. Thank you so much.
It was great.
Okay. Now, Jerry.
Thank you. By the way, I just noticed the red sequins on here. I have earrings that'll match this beautifully, so thank you. Lady from the audience who is a Sun Up viewer, I assume, or why would you be here?
For a long time I have been, and I was faithfully a viewer when Danuta was on, and I know she's on the radio, and I wanted to know had you got your contract extended?
Yeah, you're going to work at...
You're looking for more hours?
Going to work at KSDO full-time? Is that the
I
plan?
just want to work anywhere. I don't know. We're working out something. Sooner or later I'll be back on the air somewhere.
You'll be at KSDO, I think, the way it looks. At least that's the hope. Can we run down the row real quick and just say what you guys are doing with your lives at this moment? Shane?
Yeah, well, I'm still, I'm one of the same group, still looking for work.
Still looking for work.
Don't I
Sue?
look like it? No sleeves? Does anybody want to
That's why you don't find it, Shane. Put that on.
That's the problem. Now you tell me.
Sue, what's your life about these days?
My husband and I manage the Travel Inn Motel in Brawley, California, and still spend a lot of time at our house in Baja, in beautiful San Felipe.
All right.
Lucky.
Mel Knoepp.
I'm a vice president with Drake Bean Moore in San Diego. We're a management consulting company specializing in outplacement and other forms of human resource consulting.
All right. And Danuta's looking for work.
Well, no. I really, quite frankly, I have just finished putting a book together about my father's experiences in World War II fighting Hitler as a Polish soldier, and it looks like it will soon be published, and it'll be my 4th book out, and I've got a 5th coming up.
When you get it on the market, come on Sun Up and we'll plug... No, wait a minute. No, can't do that. No, never mind. And Bob?
Just about 2 months ago, I retired from K-pop radio, so I'm totally retired now, and I got a little coping saw, and I'm making these ducks, you know, the wings that go like this. There's a good market for those, and anybody that would like to buy a duck.
Not only that, but Kathi and I will be selling our jams and jellies in the lobby after the show.
Something I need to say, too, is that from the guests that have been on the show, I've made some of my best friends, and they're here in the studio today. One is Connie Ham.
Connie Ham.
Connie, why don't you stand up? Connie's been the Chinese chef on Sun Up. And you're still going to be cooking somewhere, right?
Yes, Wuchi Chong, Mesa College, I'll be all over still.
Okay.
Yes. You know, some of my first experiences on television is actually not with Sun Up per se, but with Bob Mills. He interviewed me 20 years ago. I guess I'm telling my age now, or Bob's age. And I've been on Sun Up for 10 years. And my first experience was 1,500 letters, and that's how I just continued to keep on coming. And
Wow. Was he gentle the first time? That's what I want to know. Right?
actually, Jerry, you were the first host on Sun Up in the cooking segment with Danuta. And if it wasn't for the two of you, I'd be, you know...
You'd be in the kitchen, right?
I'd be in the frying pan. But Kathi has gotten me through a lot of segments, and especially through these harried mornings, you know.
Thank you,
Connie Ham.
Connie.
We got about 1 minute left. We want to real quick, why don't we just kind of point around the room, because there's some people we're not going to get time to say hello to. Some of the guys who have retired and came back, Gordon Skinner and Jim Kincaid and Paul Dirth back there, some of the crew members. Who else do we see around?
That's right. There's Jim. Hi, guys.
Guys, they're way in the dark over there, but they're there. I see John Morgan over there who was on the show. Bonnie, stand up real quick. Bonnie Marie is a tap dance instructor in Coronado. Taught me how to tap dance. I forgot it the next day, but she's wonderful. Bonnie Marie, thank you. Who did we miss?
Well, we miss Sandy Robertson, who was our interior designer on Sun Up for years and years. And what's your favorite memory?
my favorite memory is not exactly my favorite memory, it's your favorite memory. You're the one that got me with the paint in a painting segment, and I never caught her, so.
I flicked the brush of paint at her.
Oh, no.
There's a future for me.
Boy, is that out of character for Kathy?
Sandy Robertson,
Also,
thank
a
you.
lot of the public relations people who brought us the guests over the years. I saw Laura Walter and Rich Wise and Dodie Garner.
Yes.
And we've forgotten. There are not enough moments in this show to thank everybody. We are going to come back, though, and say some goodbyes. There's a lot more to come on Sunup's farewell show. Don't go away. It has been, and I must tell you, an arduous search. Before Kathi Diamant joined our Sunup staff, Channel 8 interviewed 130 women for the position. It was grueling. They were not personal interviews, however, but I am thrilled and delighted to welcome our brand new co-host to Sunup San Diego. Please welcome Kathi Diamant. Materialize, beam in.
Thank you.
How about a kiss?
Woo! 7
And there
years
she
later.
is, Kathi Diamant.
Amazing.
Yes. By the way, I have to say one thing. On that videotape, the guy who introduced Kathi Diamant, that was my son. That wasn't. There's no way that was me. They say there comes a point in your life when you look in the mirror and you say, Dad? He's done that.
Well,
now.
you know, something that we did again today on this show, which we have done over the years, which is kind of amazing, is that we come coordinated.
Yeah, with no planning. We just
no,
show
absolutely
up dressed sort of alike from different parts of the world, right?
So I think it's ironic and suitable that on our last day we did this.
You had a couple of moments you wanted to share. Now we have, excuse me, I just got to ask, we have 3 minutes till the song or 3 minutes for the whole segment? Till the song. Okay, good.
Okay,
We're
we're not going to miss that.
A couple of tape moments that you had prepared for us.
Well, they're just moments from the show. I want to look at the rest of that first day because I bet we've changed a lot. Not
This
just
was our
in
first
terms
day?
That was our first day, but we're not going to show that. I'm afraid the differences would be too vast. But the moments that I remember really strongly on the show, I don't know how many of you remember, is when I took my on-air voice lessons.
Oh. A lot of calls.
You know, it was a real interesting thing. Here's and I must admit, I like it quite well. It's something to be the darling of all, le grand femme fatale, the belle of the ball.
Hey, come on, come on. You know, in retrospect...
That wasn't so bad, actually.
That's aged very well.
Well, Martin Grusin was my instructor, and he took it on, and we did a voice. That was at the end, quite clearly, and I made vast improvements, and my heart goes out to Martin Grusin.
Tells you how she sounded at the beginning.
Oh, it was, I mean, I'm surprised that I did that
Wasn't
well,
pretty.
actually.
Was not pretty.
Well, you know what? I got a lot of letters from people who said, you know, I like you, and that's why I'm writing you this letter. Don't ever do that again. So I haven't, actually. But I also want to remember another moment that was one of the most squishy on the show. You were supposed to do it, but you weren't there that day.
Oh, yeah, right.
And I had to take off my pantyhose and my shoes and get into a barrel and stomp grapes. And I have words for you on this subject.
Well, the reason I didn't show up is I didn't want to take off my pantyhose. Why should I?
It was a pretty squeamish feeling there.
And there was actual wine that came out of that?
Well, they said they had stopped doing it that way as soon as they had electricity. So it's been a while since that's been the process. But I remember that quite clearly as well.
We had a couple of moments. Everybody is told the... Should we tell it one more time?
Okay.
Beverly Sassoon is one of the most beautiful women in the world. And she was on the show one time, and I was kind of excited. She's gorgeous. And I drink tea, and I'm trying to be cool. And this is Beverly, right? And I said, so Beverly, tell me, right? And the tea bag gets stuck in my teeth, and it drips on my clothes, and I'm embarrassed. And it was, again, not pretty. It was one of those moments.
But it's a chance now to thank all the people. This city has become my home, and all of you, my family. And this is not just saying goodbye to a job, it's saying goodbye to my friends.
Instead of showing you some tapes, I thought I would do something that I rarely got the chance to do on the show but love. I like to sing. I took the song yesterday and kind of customized the lyrics. And this is for Kathi and Bob and Danuta and all of you who watched all these years.
Yesterday, life was young and it was still a friend. We all thought that it would never end, and that was only yesterday. Suddenly, now we realize it meant so much, while we think of all the lives we touched. We remember yesterday. Why it changes so, I don't know. Life's just a game. It seems like the more things change, though, the more they stay the same. Suddenly, there are memories yesterday, and the good ones just won't fade away. Still I believe yesterday. They say don't look back, 'cause you can't return again. But I say it's okay. Gotta know where we have been yesterday. Life left signposts all along the way, but they're just a prelude to a new today. Oh, I believe yesterday. I believe in yesterday.
Been a family, a Sun-Up family. One of, like our mom, is Pat Elwood, who's been our producer, who's going to go on to do some really great things here at Channel 8.
Not only our producer, Pat started here as an intern, married the producer. Dean is now producing in the news department. Pat became our producer and our mom, and has been responsible for all the fun we've had here over the last couple of years. Pat Elwood.
Yes.
Thanks again to Bob Mills for having the foresight to give us all work for 30 years.
Thank you very much for carrying on.
Hey.
I love Sun-Up, and it's a sad day that it goes off the air.
Well,
I love all you.
We got lots of great memories. Danuta, Sue, Mel, and Shane. Yeah, good luck and good lives to all of you all.
And to you too.
And us. We'll all be around town.
Yeah.
We'll be hanging around Horton Plaza mainly.
And to San Diego, we love you.
We're going to leave you with a look at Sun-Up over the last 30 years. Bye-bye.
I hope the day will be a light, a highway for friends that found a narrow road. Can you ever think of any better way for the lost and weary travelers to go? Making friends for the world to see. Let the people know you got what you need. With a friend at hand, you will see the light. If your friends are there, then everything's alright. It seems to me a crime that we should hate. These fragile times should never slip us by. A time you never can or shall erase. As friends together watch their childhood fly. Making friends for the
Right now, you can choose one of these beautiful oil paintings worth over $100 absolutely free with any purchase of $3.99.